Hi everyone, welcome to the session 3 on SAS programming. So in this session, I will teach you how to write some basic SAS codes by using the data sets which are already there. So when I say data sets already there, that means you will be accessing some data sets from the warehouse. For example, Teradata warehouse, and then you will be doing some further processing on it. In your real life work, you will be working on the data sets like this only. So to start with, what I will do is I am taking an existing data set which is in my SAS help library. So you can treat this as a proxy for the data warehouse. So SAS gives us some pre-existing data sets and I'm using the same. So to start with, I am taking the data set called zip code from the SAS help library, which is again acting as a proxy for data warehouse. And using this, I am creating a new data set for myself called geocoding. Right now, I'll be doing everything in work library. So let us run this data set. I have selected this data set because it has good number of observations. So it has approximately 45,000 observations, so that you will get a hang that when you're actually working on big data sets, how the system responds. So systems usually run pretty slow when you're working with millions of observations. Here we are working with 44,000. Since the RAM in the software on my laptop is not at the level which is there with the professional systems, it is taking some time for 44K observations as well. If you will run only 44K observations in a company laptop or a desktop, it will run pretty fast. So now it has run. Let's go to the log. Okay. So it says the dataset geocoding has been created. It has 41,267 observations and 21 variables. So right now it's a simple and direct copy of the dataset sashelp.zip code in the work library. Now, to see what all variables are there in the dataset which we have just created, we will use a procedure or proc, which is called proc contents. So proc contents is a very useful procedure. It will tell you what all things are there in the dataset, what is their type, and what is the actual variable name along with the label of all variables. It has a very simple syntax. Proc contents data equal to, you write here the data set for which you want to run the contents procedure. I have added one additional option here called var_num. What it will tell you is it will line the variables in the way they are actually existing in the data. Otherwise, it will automatically sort the data on the basis of alphabetical order. So let's run this. Okay, so first we'll go to the log. It says proc contents data, note writing HTML body file, and it has run properly. So nothing in red, that means our procedure has run properly. Now we'll go to the output or HTML body or the results viewer. It will tell us what all variables are there in my data, what is their type in terms of whether they're numeric or character, what is the length defined in this data set, what is the format, and what is the label. So all this information is very useful. We usually save this in a Excel separately to understand how my data set is looking like. Here, what I'm doing is I have written the same information here in the SAS program itself. So in my data set, I have 21 variables, and this is the label for them and type. Now, once I have the data set into my system, my next step would be doing some processing on it. And there are different ways I will be requiring to process the data. So I will start with few of those, then we will keep on adding, then finally we will combine each and everything. So first process is there can be conditions that your data set contains multiple variables, but finally you need only few variables out of them. So for example, in my data set here, I have 21 variables. So from the data warehouse, from a data set, I pulled the data exactly and it contains 21 variables. But for my analytics purpose, I need only few specific variables. So I need a new data set which will contain only those required variables, and it will drop all other variables which are not required for me. So one way is to use a keep statement. Keep will only keep those variables which you require to be in your data set. So here, what I'm doing is I'm using the data set geocoding, and using this, I'm creating a new data set geo details one underscore keep. You're free to keep the data set names until and unless they are following all the rules, like they have to be 32 characters in length and all other character and numeric rules. So for my purpose, I need, let's say, only these particular variables: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So out of 21 variables, I need only 10 variables. And simply I write the names of all these variables like this. So after the word keep, I will simply write the name of variables with a space in between. I will end that in semicolon. Every statement in SAS should end with a semicolon. And every data step should end with a run statement and followed by semicolon. So let's run this. Let's go to the log. So it has run properly. And what do I see in the note? The data set geodetails one underscore keep has 41267 observations. Remember, I have not done anything on the number of observations. Right now, we are just working on reducing variables. So my data set finally contains 10 variables. These are exactly the 10 variables which I wanted here. Okay. We will look at the data set as well, but right now we will see there is another way of writing the keep statement. So what you can do is you can write a keep statement after the set statement, or you can write the keep statement within the data line only. The benefit of doing this is this type of programming will run a bit faster, but you are free to write the keep statement in any way you like. So what I will do is I will just run this program where I'm creating a new data set geodetails2 underscore keep, defining all the variables which I want to be there in my data set. Then from which data set I want to create a new data set is called geocoding, then followed by the run statement. So let's run. So it says geo details 2 underscore keep has 41267 observations and 10 variables. So now let's say I want to check whether how my data set is looking like. So first I have created the dataset geo details 1 underscore keep. Let me open it here. Again, this is a small data set, so I'm opening the data set directly here. But when we are actually working on millions of rows in one data set, one should not do this because this will just hang your system. This data set is also not so small for our system. It contains 41K observations, so it's pretty big. Again, if you see, all the 10 variables are displayed here, and at the top we can see the variable labels. If we want to see the exact variable names, we can click on any variable, basically do a right click, check on the column attributes. Okay, and here you can see the label. Okay, so here we can see the label and the actual name of the variable. So actual name of the variable is zip and the label is 5-digit zip code. So this is how from a data set as well, we can see the exact variable name also. Now another data set which we created was geodetails 2 underscore keep. Again, if you see, same variables, same labels and same information. So there are two ways of running a keep statement and we have tried both. Coming back to our program, so there can be another way of creating a new data set. So one is keeping the required variables, which we have just discussed. Another way could be dropping the variables which we do not require. So let's say if you're working on a data set which contains 250 variables, or let's say 150 variables, and from that you need only 100 variables in your final data set. So you can write a keep statement which will contain the name of those 100 variables. Instead, what you can do, you can use a drop statement which will drop those 50 variables which we do not require. Okay, so it's like a quicker way of doing things depending on your problem statement. So what I have done here is uh, out of those 21 variables, what 11 variables we decided to drop. So basically at the top, we decided to keep these 10 variables. So that means we decided to drop 11 variables. So I am doing things differently here with a drop statement. So all these variables we actually wanted to drop. Okay. So I am using the drop statement here. So the way of writing is pretty similar to the keep statement. It's just that our our keyword is drop here, and we only mention the variables which we want to drop in a final data set. That means they should not be there in my final data set. So I run this and I create a data set geo details 1 underscore drop. I go to log. So it contains 11 variables and 41267 observations. Okay, I think I have missed one variable to drop, but that's okay because here we are dropping 10 variables. The objective is to understand the drop statement. Now, like keep, there is another way of writing the drop statement as well, writing it with the data part. Again, this will run your program a bit faster. So prefer this when you're working on big data sets. It will run a bit faster, and overall, when you'll have to sometimes run the same data steps again and again by doing some here, hithering and dithering, then this will actually save your time in the long run. So this has run again. Let me open these data sets. Geo details 1 drop. So this is the data set which I have created, and geo details 2 drop is the same data set which I have created. The same results, different ways of doing it. All right. Now we will move to some of the conditions. So we are processing only those observations which are required. So in a previous step, we worked on the variables only. Okay, that means how many columns are there in my data and should be there. We reduced number of columns or variables. Here we will work on observations. So we are not touching how many variables are there in my data. Right now, we are just focusing on taking only those observations which are required for my further analysis, depending on some of the conditions. Okay. Now, let's start with the if statement. So in this if statement, what I'm doing is, so what is my variable y? So let's go at the top in my proc content and see, this is my y variable and it is numeric in nature, and what it contains is latitude of the center of zip code. So it contains the latitude information. Now let's say the only objective or only problem statement which has come to you is, hey, I need the data for I need complete geocoding data only for those regions where latitude is greater than 40. Okay, so this is a data set unique on the zip. So we need the data for zip codes where my latitude is greater than 40. So simply I will write an if statement for this. So if y is greater than equal to 40, what it will do is it will filter your observations. So from the original dataset geocoding, we are creating another dataset geodetail underscore require observations 1A or REQOBS 1A, which will contain the data for only required observations. Okay. So now it should reduce my number of observations. So let's run this. So if you see here, what it says, there were 41267 observations read from dataset work.geocoding. So originally my dataset has 41267 observations. After applying this filter or condition, I have remaining 17,771 observations. And again, the number of variables remains same. So here I have done processing on the observations. Now, rather than if statement, we can use a where statement as well. It will give us the same result. Only difference which you need to understand, because this is a question asked from people in interviews as well, and it is very important to understand as a programmer. When you are running a if statement, how the programming will happen at the backend. So in my original data set, I have 41267 observations. If I use an if statement, it will first process all 41267 observations and keep the result in the temporary memory. Then it will, apply that if statement to pick up only observations which are there with y greater than 40. But when you are using a where statement, so it will pick up initially only those observations where y is greater than equal to 40. So it will not pick up 41267 observations. It will go into your base data set. It will find out at which places y is greater than equal to 40, and then it will create a new data set for you. But in the if part, it was copying each and everything at first into your temporary data set. Then in that data set, it will find out the observations where y is greater than 40. Then it will remove, or it will select only that part where y is greater than 40, and then it will replace your temporary data set with the final data set. Okay. So it is a two-step procedure. While using the where statement, it only picks up the required thing. So it's like, you have a big basket. It contains 100 grapes, and you have your own basket as well. So you only need 20 biggest grapes. So what you can do is you can pick up those 20 biggest grapes in the original basket and keep in your new one. Or what you can do, you will pour all the grapes in your own basket, then pick up the 20 big ones, then keep the other ones in the original basket, and just then you will have those top biggest 20 grapes remaining in your basket. So this procedure is longer, so hence it takes a bit more time. When you're working on small data set, doesn't matter much, but yes, when you're working on big data sets with millions of rows, where statement definitely run faster. You would be able to exactly see in your processing time that there is good amount of difference in terms of few seconds or maybe a few minutes as well, depending on the size of the data. All right. So in the next part, so what we will see that we can pass multiple conditions as well. So it's not restricted that in a where statement we have to pass only one condition. No, you can pass multiple statements as well in your where part on different variables. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking two variables, y and x. Let's go back at the top and understand or revise what was the next variable. So x variable is my longitude variable, and I know that it was mentioned in negative. So the requirement here is my y variable should be greater than equal to 40 and x variable should be less than equal to minus 90. Now this AND operator is depending on my requirement. We can write an OR statement as well. So either or kind, or depending on a requirement, we can write it. But here what I'm doing is I'm using an AND operator. Okay, so when I run this, so if you see here, I have only 6982 observations. Okay. In my log window, see, this is the last code which I have run, where I've given the condition y is greater than equal to 40 and it returns 17,771 observations. But here I am passing two filters. Okay, the data will be passed through two filters, so it will be reduced further. And that's why I have lesser number of observations. Okay. So this is how we can use if or where statement for filtering the data on the base for a particular numeric variable. Now there can be another requirement that we have to filter data on the basis of character variables or a non-numeric variables. Okay. So here also we will use a similar if and where statement, but the way of writing a character statement would be different, that a particular value which we want to pass should be passed in single quotes. So let's say I need a data where the state name 2 is New York. So I need only data for the New York part or New York state. So in my if statement, I will write if state name 2 equal to New York. Okay. So I run this. So only 2160 observations. So out of my 41,000 observations, approximately only 2,000 observations are showing the data for New York. So that means there are multiple other states as well, but for my requirement, I needed the data for New York only. So I pulled it. Again, in the where part, we can put the multiple conditions. So multiple conditions can be put for character variables as well. So in this part, I am putting multiple conditions for variable state and city. So I need the data where the state is New York, and within that state, I want to focus only on a particular city called Hallsville. So I'm passing a AND operator here. So within New York, I need only for Hallsville, so I need to pass an AND operator. So I run this, and my data set is created. So if you see earlier, when I ran just for New York, the data was given for 2160 observation, but now I just want to focus on Hallsville city. So there are only 3 observations which are satisfying this condition. That means state name is New York and city name is Hallsville. Okay. So yeah, this is how we use our where and if operators. Now let's say I want to use an OR operator here. Okay, I'm just changing the operator. My all conditions remain same. So state name can be New York, and either state name is New York or city is Hallsville. Either of these two conditions satisfy, I'm okay. I run this again, and what I see here, I have 2160 observations. Okay. So what has happened here is, if you see earlier, when I passed this statement that state name equal to New York, it has 2160 observations. When I added a condition with AND operator that city should be Hallsville only, then it gave me observations where state is New York and city is Hallsville. So there were only 3 observations. But now what I've done is I've given an OR condition. I'm okay with statement New York, and or I'm okay with city Hallsville. So it has again given me 2160 observations. So all the data where New York and Hallsville were there would be included in this, and this makes logical sense as well. So because of the construct of my data, I am having the same number of observation as I was having where I was just passing the state name New York. So this is a very simplistic example. When we are working on the actual data, depending on data type and a requirement, the OR and AND conditions will work. So this is just to give you a hang of programming, that how do we program within SAS. Now, what we are doing here is we are passing multiple statements. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm combining the above two statements and further combining statements on the basis of an operator. So what SAS will do here is it will take this condition which is in bracket. So actually this is not one condition, this is two conditions. State name equal to New York or state name 2 equal to Florida. Okay. So I want, basically I am taking the data for states New York or Florida. So state name can be New York, can be Florida. So I separate it by an OR operator. So this is one combined statement which will pass. Now I have another statement where city either Hallsville or Orlando. So this is another statement. Now I am combining these two with a AND operator. The most important thing to look here is I am putting some conditions in bracket. So first SAS will pass what is within the brackets, then it will combine those two on the basis of the operator. So after running this, I should have the data where state name is either New York or Florida and city name is either Hallsville or Orlando. Okay. If I run this, I have 62 observations. So this is a small data set. Let's open and see it. So this is geodetails underscore REQ ops 2D. Okay. So if we see here, in my state, I have either New York or Florida, and in my city, I have either Hallsville or Orlando. So this is how we can combine multiple statements. We can use brackets, we can use multiple operators depending on our requirement. So this was, I covered this just to explain you how we can, in the real environment, we need to write a bit of complex queries to pull our data. Okay. Now as a next step, we will understand how we can create new variables. Okay. So here, based on some condition, we are creating new variables in my data. So what I'm doing here is using the variable y, which is my latitude, I am creating a new variable called latitude range. Okay. So when y is less than or equal to 10, then my latitude range variable, this is a new variable which I'll be creating, will be having the value LT10 or less than 10. When my y is between greater than 10 and less than or equal to 50, I will be writing is BT10 and 50, between 10 and 50. Or maybe we can write A, category B, category C, depending on our requirement. When it is greater than 50 and less than or equal to 80, I'm marking it in this category. And above everything or the remaining ones, I'm marking in category 4, which is GT80. So it will create a new variable called latitude range with the different character values depending on the condition or if else condition I have given here. Now what I'm doing also here is I'm keeping only those variables which are required in my data. So I'm creating a new variable and I'm also keeping only those variables which are required in my final data. The use of if else statement, I run the code and so I have 4, 1, 2, 6, 7 observations and finally I have data set which contains only 8 variables, and obviously we did not provide any filter on the basis of if or where statement, so the number of observations remains same, only the variables decrease and one more variable is created. Most important thing to remember here is this new variable created latitude range should be there in the keep statement, otherwise it will not show in your final data. So whatever variables you want to keep in your final data set, they should be there in your keep statement. Okay. Now, another way of creating new variable into your data set would be to use simple formula. So for example, I want to create a new variable called latitude new where I will be multiplying the value of existing variable by 1 by 2. So simple multiplication formula I'm using here. Or I want to create a new variable longitude new, which would be half of the original x variable. So I'm dividing it by 2. This is a simple use of formula for creating a new data set. Sorry, creating new variables in the same data set. And then I'm passing the keep statement as well because I need only these variables in my data. So I run this. And I see 4, 1, 2, 6, 7 observations and 9 variables. Now we can use some intrinsic or inbuilt mathematical functions as well. So for example, for latitude, I want to calculate the square root of latitude. For longitude, I want to calculate the sine value. Okay. So you remember the sine, cos, tan that we studied in our geometry classes. So we can use it here as well. And after that, I'm passing the keep statement. So these are two mathematical functions I'm using. So 4, 1, 2, 6, 7 observations and 9 variables. So these two new variables have been created in the data. Okay. Now, this part is basically I am combining if-else statement for the categorical variables. And there are two new categorical variables which I'm creating. One is your region, one is your group. So you can pass multiple if-else statement, multiple where statement, multiple functions or formulas or if-else statement within your one program only. So usually when you're writing your programs in the real life, they're pretty big. They're not so small. So I'm using two if-else conditions here and then using the keep statement. Like this. So this is my data set which has been created. Let's check this data. Geo details underscore new VATs 4. Yeah, so this is the data set which is there, and these are the two variables which I have created, region and group. Okay. So our final data set has created two new variables. Now, as I said, multiple things have to be done in the same code. So what I'll do is now all the stuff that we have done above. Okay. So processing only those variables which you need, processing only those observations which are required, and then creating new variables. We will be doing together in one code. Okay. So I'll keep it a bit simple. I'll take only one condition each. So original data remains geocoding. This is the data set name I am creating. First, I am passing this if-else statement on my y variable and creating a new variable called latitude range. So this is the use of if-else statement. This is the same statement that we used above. Then using a simple formula, we are creating a new variable latitude new. So multiplying y by 1.2, this will create a new variable. Now we are using if-else statement on a categorical variable and creating the new variable called region 4. Okay, and then I am giving the keep statement. So I need only these variables in my data from the original data set. If you don't give this condition, guys, what will happen is it will definitely contain all the new variables which you have created, but it will pull all the existing variables which were there in the geocoding data. So let's say if your data set has 250 variables or 300 variables, you will be having all those huge number of variables also in your data. And additionally, you will be creating some new variables. We don't want to go into that situation because we need to work concisely. So we will use keep condition. And where condition also I am passing to restrict my number of observation based on different conditions. So if I run this, see, in my final data set, I have only 62 observations and 10 variables. If I try to open this data, okay, so these are all the new variables which I have created, and surely my number of observations has restricted. All right. So yeah, so our session ends today here. Thank you all for your attendance, and please do write us for any questions, and please keep practicing, keep learning, and I hope you're enjoying your learning. So let's meet again next weekend. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.